Hello children, this is 7th standard science unit 4 chemistry lesson atomic structure. Yes, last class in chemistry, that is unit 3, we have seen matter around us. Yes, I hope you understand everything, all the definitions and all the terms in that lesson. That is very, very important. Without that basic knowledge, you can't read anything in chemistry. Yes. So if you forget anything, just you take your book and recollect everything. Then you listen to this class. Yes. So this atomic structure, in this lesson, atomic structure, we are going to study about the atom. Yes. So before going to see about the atom, first we will see what is matter. What is matter? Matter is anything in the universe which occupies space and has mass. That is the definition for matter. So what is matter? Anything in the universe which occupies space and has mass. So if you see any objects around you, you take that object. For example, if I say take the chalkers, if you take this chalkers is having some mass, and if you keep it on the table, it occupies some space. So this is also matter. Then second point, if you take matter consists of atoms and molecules. In other words, we can say atoms and molecules are building blocks of matter. What is that? Atoms and molecules are building blocks of matter. Yes. So coming to atom. What is atom? Atom is the smallest particle. Atom is the smallest particle which can take part in a chemical reaction. Atom is the smallest particle which can take part in a chemical reaction. So if you take any object, that object is made up of atom. Yes, that atom is nothing but the smallest indivisible particle. Smallest indivisible particle that can take part in a chemical reaction. So before going to see this atomic structure, structure means what will be the structure of atom. Before going to see about the atomic structure of an atom, we will see about the size of atom. So if you take the size of atom size of the atom is very small, that is very negligible. Yes, so in other words we can say the size of the atom can be measured by means of nanometer. What is that? Nanometer. You know that 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter, 10 centimeter, like that you know the table. Here nanometer, 1 nanometer is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. That means it is nothing but 1 by, if you have to put 1 and you have to put 9 zeros. Yes, so that is the size of an atom. Size of that atom is very small. The unit measured, the unit used to measure the size of the atom is nanometer. So 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. Then coming to theories. Yes. So after the invention of atom, yes. So here there are many scientists. They proposed some theories based on atom. Yes. So here first scientist who gave some points about the atom is Dalton. Yes, Dalton proposed theory, Dalton's atomic theory. We call that as the Dalton's atomic theory in the year of 1802, 1808. In the year of 1808, he proposed one theory about atom. What he explained means, he proposed that matter consists of small particles. Matter consists of small particles. The name of the particle is atom. He only named the small particle as atom, and he told that atom is spherical in shape. He told that atom is spherical in shape. Yes. So in your book it has given some size of the atom, pencil size, red blood cell, virus, dust particle and atomic size. Everything it is given in your book. Just you take your book and you can observe what will be the size of the atom. Here, do you know column it is explained about the nanometer. So, Dalton's atomic theory, he proposed the theory named as Dalton's atomic theory in the year 1808. What he told, each and every matter is made up of small particles. The name of the particle is atom and it is spherical in shape. He didn't tell anything about the charges of an atom. He failed to explain about the charges of atom. Then second, after his theory, in the year 1897, J.J. Thomson, he explained atom. He imagined watermelon as an example. He explained the structure of an atom with the help of watermelon. I hope everybody like watermelon. Yes, you know the shape of the watermelon. How it will be outside. It will be green in color. If you cut it inside, the pulp will be red in color, and then and there you can find the seeds which is black in color. So this J.J. Thomson, what he made, he imagined atom as a watermelon. He considered watermelon as an atom, and the red pulp he called that as a positive charge. He named the red pulp as a positive charge, and all the seeds which are black in color, he named that as a negative charge. Yes. Do you follow what I am telling? J.J. Thomson explained the atom with the example of the fruit watermelon. He imagined watermelon as an atom, and the red pulp is a positive charge, and the seeds which are embedded in the fruit, that is negative charge. Okay, then after that, in the year 1911, Rutherford, he explained some factors about the atom with the help of bombarding of gold sheets with alpha particles. Alpha means the charge of the alpha particle is positive charge. Charge of the alpha particle is positive charge. What he made, he took some gold sheets and he bombarded. Bombarded means passing the alpha rays, alpha particle on the gold sheet, and he found some output after passing the alpha particles on the gold sheet. He observed that some of the particles passed into the gold sheet, and some of the particles after colliding on the gold sheet, it came outside. So what he told, atom is having positive charge at the center, and it is collected at a particular point, and the atom is also having negative charge which is revolving around the nucleus. So only he told some of the alpha particles, when the alpha particle touches the alpha positive charge, alpha particle is nothing but positive charge. When it colliding with positive charge, it returned back. When it is colliding with the negative charge, it is attracted. Yes, and some of the gold particles, some of the alpha particles went through it. He told that as the empty space. Everything it is given in your book with the explanation with the diagram. If you see the diagram, you will understand better. Yes, so Rutherford, he explained his theory in the year 1911 with gold, bombarding the alpha particles with a gold sheet. He concluded that positive charges are focused at the center of an atom, and the negative charge electron is moving around the nucleus. So by this, they have concluded the Rutherford theory. The theory explains means the nucleus at the center of the atom has positive charge, and most of the mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus, and electron is revolving around the nucleus. Then coming to subatomic particles. So subatomic particles means nothing but the particles which are present in an atom. The particles which are present in an atom, we name that particle as subatomic particles. So what is meant by subatomic particle? The particles which are present in the atom, we call the particles as subatomic particles. Clear? So what are all the subatomic particles? There are 3 subatomic particles in an atom. First one is proton, second one is electron, and third one is neutron. This is also very important. Please observe it carefully. Okay. There are 3 subatomic particles: protons, electrons, and neutrons. So if you take the charge of proton, proton is having positive charge. How will you remember that one means? P proton, positive charge P. Like that you imagine. Okay. So proton is having positive charge, electron is having negative charge, and neutron is not having any charge. That means it is neutral. Neutral means it is not having either positive charge or negative charge. Clear, children? So there are 3 subatomic particles: proton, electron, and neutron. So what is the charge for proton? Charge for proton is positive charge. Charge for electron is negative charge, and charge for neutron is neutral in charge. So coming to the mass of these particles. Coming to the mass of the particles, the mass of proton is 1.6726 into 10 to the power of minus 27. 10 to the power of minus 27. Electron is 9.1093 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. Unit measured here is kilogram. And the charge of, that is mass of neutron is 1.6749 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. So these are all the charges, that is about the subatomic particles. What are the subatomic particles? Protons, electrons, and neutrons. Who discovered proton means Rutherford. Rutherford discovered proton, and electron was discovered by Thomson, and neutron was discovered by James Chadwick. Yes. So proton was discovered by Rutherford, electron is discovered by Thomson, and neutron is discovered by James Chadwick. So proton can be represented by means of capital P. Capital P. Electron can be represented by means of small e, electron, and neutron is small n. Neutron is small n. So what is the charge for proton? Charge of proton is +1. Charge for electron is -1. Charge for neutron is 0. Clear? So then the mass of proton is 1.6726 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. Electron is negative charge, which is having 9.1093 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg, and neutron is neutral in charge, and the mass of the neutron is 1.6749 into 10 to the power of minus 27. Next we can see about atomic number and mass number. Yes. Now we are going to see about atomic number and mass number. Yes. So what are the subatomic particles? Proton, electron, and neutron. So what is the charge of proton? Positive charge. Charge for electron is negative charge. Charge for neutron is neutral charge. That is no charge. Yes. So when you take the structure of an atom, inside the nucleus, protons and neutron will be present, and outside the nucleus, electron will be present. Yes, we call this circular path, we call that as the orbit. Like solar system. Solar system, at the center, sun will be there. All the planets will be revolving around the nucleus in the elliptical path. The path we call it as orbit. Like that, in an atom, protons and neutron will be present inside the center of an atom. That is, we call that as the nucleus. Outside the nucleus, electrons will be revolving around the nucleus. We call that part as the orbit. So if you take any atom is chemically neutral. So what is meant by neutral? atom will not have either positive charge or negative charge. But inside an atom, it is having the subatomic particles called proton, electron and neutron. But that subatomic particles will have positive charge, negative charge and no charge. Is it confusing? Once again I will repeat. If you listen it carefully, you can observe. Atom as a whole, it is neutral. How we are saying atom as a whole is neutral means, if you take an atom, all the atom will have same number of proton and electron. If an atom is having one electron, it will have only one proton. 2 electron, 2 proton. 3 electron, 3 proton like that. Clear? Now, so if you take any atom will have same number of proton and electron. That means same amount of positive charge and negative charge. So as an atom is chemically neutral. It is having same number of proton and electron, same amount of positive charge and negative charge. So what is meant by atomic number means number of proton present in an atom, we call that as atomic number. In other words, we can say number of electron present in an atom. Why we can say odd? Why we are using this word odd means, if you take any atom will have same number of proton and electron. If it is having 6 proton, it will have 6 electron. 7 proton, 7 electron like that. So, atomic number is represented by means of the letter Z, and what is atomic number means number of proton or number of electron. Coming to mass number is denoted by the letter A. It is nothing but the addition of total number of proton and neutron. Proton and neutron will be present inside the nucleus. That is nothing but mass number. That means the mass of an atom will be focused only on the nucleus. Why means the mass of the electron is very negligible. Okay, so mass number is nothing but the addition of the total number of proton and neutron. Total number of proton and neutron. In other words, you can say number of electron plus neutron. You can say sum of electron and neutron. Why we can say proton here and we can say electron here means, if you take any atom will have same number of proton and same number of electron. So what is atomic number? Atomic number is nothing but number of protons or number of electrons present in an atom. Mass number is nothing but number of proton plus number of neutron or number of electron plus number of neutron. Okay, here if you take some elements will have, if you take for example, if you take this element carbon, yes, so if carbon, the atomic number is 6 and the mass number is 12. So we already have studied the symbols in matter lesson. Yes, hydrogen H, helium He, carbon C, aluminium Al, like that we have studied, no? So the representation of an element in the smallest way, in the simplest way, we call that as a symbol. So if you want to write the carbon like this means, instead of writing CARBON, you can write C, which is having 6 proton and 6 electron, and also 6 neutron is there. So atomic number will be written at the base and mass number should be written on the top. Okay, so by the representation of carbon means carbon 12, 6 means 12 represents mass number, 6 represents atomic number. So if you take hydrogen, now I am going to explain about the isotopes. Isotopes means some of the elements will have same atomic number but different mass number. Yes, same atomic number but different mass number. Why it is difference in mass number means number of neutron present in an atom will be changing. Okay, so if you take hydrogen, hydrogen atomic number is 1 and mass number is also 1. That means if you take hydrogen, here hydrogen is not having neutron. It is not having neutron charge. So inside the nucleus it will have only one proton and outside the nucleus it is having only one electron. That means hydrogen is having atomic number 1 and also mass number 1. Deuterium, that is isotope of deuterium, which is having atomic number 1 and mass number 2. That means this deuterium is having neutron, only one neutron. Yes, so one proton plus one neutron means mass number 2. Then third element is tritium. Tritium means this hydrogen is having mass number 3 and atomic number 1. So this hydrogen, deuterium and tritium, all the three is having same atomic number but different mass number. So we call this as the isotopes. Isotopes are nothing but the elements which are having same atomic number but different mass number. Then coming to isobars. Isobars are nothing but the elements which are having same mass number but different atomic number. Same mass number but different atomic number. Example for isobars are calcium and argon. Calcium is also having mass number 40 and argon is also having mass number 40. So we call this as the isobars. Isobars are nothing but the elements which are having same mass number but different atomic number. Example for that one is calcium 40 and argon 40. Here children, isotopes and isobars. In your book it is given the explanation in about the isotopes and isobars. Yes. Then coming to valency. So valency, which is very important. So valency is nothing but the combining capacity of an element. What is that? Combining capacity of an element. We call that as the valency. We call that as the valency. What is meant by combining capacity? So when I took that water, yes, what is the molecular formula for water? What I told? H2O. That means 2 hydrogen combines with 1 oxygen to form water, H2O. Yes, so valency is the combining capacity, means in the structure, as a structure form, you can write like this: 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. That means valency of hydrogen is 1, valency of oxygen is 2. That means hydrogen can combine with only one element, but oxygen can combine with 2 elements. Like here. So one hydrogen can combine with one hydrogen, combines with one oxygen. Another hydrogen combines with the same oxygen. So the water is formed, H2O. So valency is nothing but combining capacity of an element. In other words, we can say the elements which can combine with how many, the number of elements, number of atoms which can combine with hydrogen, we can call that also as a valency. Yes, valency is nothing but combining capacity of an element. Yes, so here hydrogen valency 1 and here also hydrogen valency 1. So this, when you write this water H2O, O is having the valency 2. That means oxygen can combine with 2 other elements, but hydrogen can combine with only one element. For example, hydrogen chloride. Yes, one hydrogen can combine with only one chlorine. One chlorine can combine with only one hydrogen, resulting in the formation of HCl. So valency of hydrogen is 1, valency of chlorine is 1. So based on the valency, we can say monovalent elements, divalent element, trivalent element and tetravalent. Mono means 1, you know. Di means 2. Tri means 3. Tetra means 4. Monovalent means the elements. Yes, so the elements which are having one valency as 1 means monovalent, valency as 2 means divalent, valency as 3 means trivalent, valency tetravalent. That means monovalent means it can combine with only one atom. Yes, divalent means it can combine with two atoms. Trivalent means it can combine with three atoms, and tetravalent means it can combine with four atoms. For example, if you take carbon, carbon is having valency 4. That means carbon can combine with four other atoms. That is, for example, CH4. CH4 is methane. That means the valency of carbon is 4. Clear, children? So in this lesson we have seen about atoms, the size of an atom, and what are all the theories. What are all the scientists? Name of the scientist, they explain about the atom. After that we have seen what is atomic number and mass number, and we have seen isotopes and isobars, and finally we have seen about the valency. That's all about this lesson. Just you take your book and go through each and every line. You read it and understand everything. Yes, this is very important lesson. Each and every term is very important. Proton, electron, neutron, positive charge, negative charge, neutral charge, which are present inside the nucleus, which are present outside the nucleus. So inside the nucleus, what are all the subatomic particles present? Protons and neutrons. So we call this as nucleons. What is it? We call that as the nucleons. What are nucleons means? The subatomic particle present inside the nucleus, we call that as nucleons. So inside the nucleus, what are all the atomic particles present? Proton and neutron. Clear? So proton and neutron will be present inside the nucleus, and electrons will be present outside the nucleus, revolving around the nucleus in a circular path. That part we call it as orbit. And coming to valency. Valency is nothing but combining capacity of an element. We call that as the valency. So there are monovalent, divalent, trivalent, tetravalent elements will be there. Monovalent means it can combine with only one element, one atom. Divalent means 2, that is valency 2. Trivalent means 3, and tetravalent means 4. Clear, children? That's all this lesson. Thank you, children. So what is the homework for this lesson? What is meant by subatomic particles? You write the definition for subatomic particles. Name the subatomic particles and write about it. That means what will be the answer? Subatomic particles means the particles which are present in an atom. We call that as the subatomic particles. What are the subatomic particles? Protons, electrons, and neutrons. Write about them means proton. Proton means it is having positive charge. Electron means it is having negative charge. Neutron is neutral in charge. Proton will be present inside the nucleus, and electron will be present outside the nucleus, and neutron will be present inside the nucleus. Like that you have to write about the subatomic particles, and also you have to draw a structure of atom like this. Proton and neutron present inside the nucleus, and electron will be present outside the nucleus. That is the homework for you. Yes, children? Thank you, children.